Cape Girardeau, Missouri. I have no idea where that is.
Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Yeah, he is the Missouri State champion.
All right, nice. And he's going to be up against Lukas Parson. Lukas is a face you might recognize. He was on Team Legit for the last Pro Tour. He's played on a couple of Pro Tours before. He top 100'd in Barcelona. He's a Kentucky native?
Yes. He's one of the better players in Kentucky.
Sure, and he is on one of the underrepresented decks that I was going to talk about.
Okay.
Junk Reanimator. What happened to all the Junk Reanimators?
Well, I was talking with what I would play, and I would have played the 4-color Reanimator deck. I would have played Junk Reanimator with Faithless Looting.
Sure. Of course.
So a little different. But David, it says control on the top of the thing. But Geist of St. Traff can beat somebody down pretty quickly. There are only 2 copies, so I think that's his Aetherling.
Yeah, that's his cheaper Aetherling. I don't know how many lands is he playing. 24, which is slightly less than the. He's only playing 24 lands, which is slightly less than the most of the decks that are running Aetherlings. The win condition.
I mean,
they're typically running around 26.
Yeah, tough to support 3 Sphinx's Revelation on only 24 lands.
Yes. Just real quickly before we get to this match, I wanted to mention the other deck that's underrepresented, which surprised me, is Junk Aristocrats. There just isn't a lot of Junk Aristocrats in the room. I know that was a little surprising to me, considering how popular it seemed to be. Several articles went up. Obviously, Brad Nelson's a big proponent of the deck.
Yeah, not enough Brad Nelson fans.
I guess not.
Showed up to this tournament.
Yeah, although I think that is a little bit of a symptom of the St. Louis area metagame. Every time that I've come to St. Louis, there just seems to be more aggro and less tricky mid-range than other parts of the country. Particularly further east in the Midwest, when you get to Ohio, Indiana, you end up with a lot more activated abilities in your aggro decks.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Whereas here, you're just like, here are all the grizzly bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we saw. I don't know if you saw the match. If you missed last round, it was awesome.
So this was Chris
Anderson. His opponent was Joe Edens, and no, I'm sorry.
He was right. Whatever. But his opponent was
Joe Melvin. Thank you.
Joe Melvin. Sure.
Yeah. It was, but anyway, the way Chris played, Chris Miracle Determinist chose not to play it, so he could draw an extra card with Sphinx's Revelation, because he needed a 7th land for his Elder Scale Worm.
Oh, jeez.
And Joe was playing a red-green beatdown deck. Wow. So Joe has only a Lightning Mauler in play. Chris is on 10 life. So Chris Sphinx's Revelation for 3, gets Skullcracked in response, takes it to 7. Joe has the perfect Boris Reckoner plus Pillar Flame on his 4 lands to kill Chris.
Wow.
I don't think Chris played, but he just played perfectly into the 3 cards.
Wow.
Joe happened to have.
That's pretty unbelievable.
It was quite a good match.
All right, so we're gonna start with looks like Is It Guildgate for David Barani there with Sulphur Falls.
Yeah.
Lukas
I know
Parson.
quite a few things about Is It Guildgate.
That's right. The old F&M hero sitting next to me here. We're going to have to talk about that a little bit probably in between sideboarding. But he's going to have another Guildgate on turn 2.
Guildgate.
Yep.
Seems like the play from
Meanwhile,
David Barani.
Lukas is probably going to be able to set himself up for a turn 3 Acidic Slime or Thragtusk, because he just drew an Arbor Elf, and that's probably what's going to happen this turn. There it is.
Looks like he has a 7th of Bloodline.
And lots of lands is what it appears to be.
Yep. One of them is a Gavany Township.
One of them is a Gavany Township, so he can start building up his 1/1s. Not too shabby.
Not the worst play in the world.
Yeah, against the blue-white-red deck. Actually has a little bit of trouble dealing with the Gavany Township.
Yeah, for sure. Not if Burn has anything to say about it.
That's right, and Burn is going to burn the Arbor Elf. It's so great that we have a burn spell named Burn.
Yeah.
It's really solid. Another land from Lukas.
Although it is his first black source.
Ah. Well, that's good then. There's turn and burn.
If you can tilt your head sideways.
If you can turn your head sideways.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. It Ovenize is a creature, if you remember Ovenize.
Yeah. pretty much the perfect card to reference.
Yeah, exactly. All those Open Eyes fans out there, if you really like, if you're really into sheep, more land for Lukas Parson. Now, to be fair, the blue-white-red deck isn't exactly pressuring him here.
I mean, I think this sort of game really favors David.
I agree.
Restoration Angel, 4 copies of that in David's deck. No Augur Bolus is a blink. This is just 3/4 flash, pretty much.
3/4 flash, pretty much.
There are Snapcaster mages that don't often get counters.
Or we can
rebuys.
Right, we can also use Geist of St. Traft as a 4 damage burn spell.
Face Tongue Kavu.
Yeah. Face Tongue Kavu?
Yeah,
like
and Restoration Angel becomes a guy that deals 4 to their face in the form of the Angel token.
Sure.
On Geist of St. Traft.
And then you can blink it just like you would Blue White Delver a couple year and a half ago, let's say.
Yeah.
So it looks like Lukas has drawn a mulch here.
Great thing about David as Lukas mulches here. Some people like lands in front. Some people like lands in back.
Yep.
David is completely undecided.
He's a lands to the left kind of fellow.
Yeah. All right, Sever the Bloodline from Lukas is going to exile good old Restoration Angel.
And then Mulch after combat is going to turn up a land, a Thragtusk, Acidic Slime, and a Gristly Salvage.
Not a very good.
Yeah, not ideal.
It does turn on Unburial Rites, but those are yet to be seen as well.
Absolutely. Lukas, by the way, as is the theme in this tournament, not running Lingering Souls. Very few decks running Lingering Souls.
Yeah, it
these
surprises.
days.
I understand in a deck that's not as graveyard dependent as Lukas, but I see decks with I think any deck with Liliana and white mana should have Lingering Souls. I think Lingering Souls is still an excellent card.
I agree. The problem with Lingering Souls is that there are so many Gore Clan Rampagers around. They just get trumped. So even though they're trying to be on chump block duty, they're trying to be Moment's Peace. Yeah. They just can't do it effectively.
Yeah, on the flip side of that is a Firefist Striker is a really big card and a really big problem for at least the version of Reanimator that I favor. Absolutely. Firefist Striker is really impactful. So,
yeah, Firefist Striker has sort of fallen out a little bit of favor though because it's more popular in the Burning Tree Emissary Naya Blitz decks as opposed to the Voice of Resurgence Naya aggro.
Yes, absolutely.
Yet another land for Lukas.
So, foil Sphinx's Revelation. This guy's out of control over here.
That's right. So it's going to draw 3 and gain 3.
The foil's only draws, still only draws 3, gains 3. But
doing an Opportunity Impression, not exactly the same. I only bring that up because I believe Opportunity is going to be an M14.
It is.
Awesome. I'm not sure how much play Opportunity is going to see when you can be playing Stroke of Genius instead.
I mean, Stroke of Genius, Stream of Life.
With Stream of Life attached, of course.
So, Opportunity is one of my favorite cards.
Opportunity is a great Magic card. I played a lot of that in the Bant Mirari's Wake decks in that standard format. Meanwhile, this Restoration Angel
gets in for 3, doing its work.
Yep.
There's Izzet Charm, Dave, is the first card. I believe Snapcaster is also in the thing. So, in Township Activation, I might have responded to with the Izzet Charm if I were David.
Yes.
Because Lukas is on all air.
Yep, he just top decked a Restoration Angel.
Oh, no, I think he's had that.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. I just saw him draw a Sun Petal Grove. He's not on all air. He has one Restoration Angel.
Right, and this Resto Angel can now be cast. I guess not.
Quite.
We can't quite do it, but we can sever the bloodline. If we so choose.
The line Lukas could conceivably take was gross.
Yep, and that'll get miscalculated. With the Izzet Charm countering it unless Lukas pays 2, he only has the 1 mana available. That 1 mana is going to deal 3 damage to David instead. This is a race that favors David currently. Although Lukas's deck is chock full of goodies from here on out.
Yeah.
You would think. Now, he does have a lot of lands in his deck, a lot of mana sources in his deck. Over half, I believe, including the 4 Arbor Elves and the 4 Avacyn's Pilgrims.
Mm-hmm. And even a card like Mulch ended up being just mana.
Yes. So
Not
David,
much in the way of value in Lucas's deck.
That's right. David's going to continue the blue-white-red march of dealing 3 damage a turn. Very thin margins.
Untapped Steam Vents pretty much telegraphs Sphinx's Revelation, but you know, who cares? Because Lucas can't do much about it. He does draw one of his better cards. I believe it's a Grizzly Salvage.
It is. Yeah, Grizzly Salvage is a very solid card here. He can choose to Grizzly Salvage, but the other line that he can take is instead leave up everything, cast Restoration Angel, and pump it.
Yes. That's actually quite a powerful line, because it'll take care of David's Restoration Angel.
David's Angel will have to die, because he'll have a 4/5 to the 3/4 that David will have. But instead, Lucas is going to try and make his deck actually do what his deck does.
Grizzly Salvage, I think, is one of the best cards in Ace Junk Reanimator deck. Although it's not looking to be...
There's something.
Alright. So it's basically drawing one card. That card is not the Avacyn's Pilgrim that's going into Lucas's hand. It's really the Umbrella Rights going to Lucas's graveyard.
Right. Breath of Life. So we're going to cast Avacyn's Pilgrim, attacking for 3. And then we're going to flash back.
Look, no, I think he's activating Gavany Township.
Activating Township. Ah,
yeah.
I see.
I actually really like the way Lucas has played this game. His draw has been very, very, very bad.
Agreed.
But he's giving himself an opportunity to win the game. Like, these Revelations are only for 3.
Yes.
They're not the backbreaking 6 and 7 carders.
Yeah.
It's very, very, it's not difficult to overcome a Revelation for 3, which is why I don't like the Revelation decks. There's not that much opportunity to just build up these huge Revelations.
Yeah, and the other thing about...
Even though David has had nothing but time this game.
Yeah, and David's... typically the blue-white-red decks have adopted Etherling.
Yes.
David has opted not to run Etherling. Instead, he has some filtering in Is It Charm.
Yes.
And
the Geist of St. Trapt.
And the Geist of St. Trapt to be able to do his heavy lifting if he needs to kill somebody right quick.
Yeah.
Only one main deck Supreme Verdict as well.
Wow. One thing I've noticed about a lot of matches in this standard, we've seen multiple games just be like, all right, Aetherling, 2 mana up, game over.
Yep.
I don't think we've seen anybody resolve an Aetherling and lose.
Yeah, well, I mean, it begs the question.
We did see somebody tap out for desperation.
Sure. I think that we also saw a player with an Aetherling lose to another player with an Aetherling.
So it's usually first Aetherling.
Yeah.
Because they get to attack first, but not always.
I think that it does beg the question, though, how in this current standard format do you beat an Aetherling?
It's not easy.
It's not easy. There are some answers. Things like Pithing Needle turn it into just a 4/5. But it's certainly a very difficult answer or card to answer, as most people have found. So David is going to cycle his Azorius Charm in response to Lucas attempting to flashback on Burial Rites.
Presumably on Thragtusk.
Presumably on Thragtusk.
I don't think Acidic Slime is much of a
threat here with all these lands in play.
Acidic Slime is very tempo oriented. What is this?
It looks like we have Snapcaster Mage targeting.
Is it Charm?
Is it Charm?
So David is drawing at a counterspell quite clearly.
Nope, he's gonna draw 2, discard 2.
The options are 2 Dissipate and 1 Rewind, 2 Syncopates, but only the Dissipates will work in this scenario.
Yep. It does not look like he found what he was looking for, and instead Thragtusk is going to bring Lucas back up to 13. And suddenly, David is in a lot of trouble because he proceeded to draw just about as many lands as Lukas did.
Well, he's also up quite a few cards.
He is.
If you think about it, like Lukas has drawn a Mulch, a Grizzly Salvage, a Sever the Bloodline, an Avacyn's Pilgrim, and
that's it.
And the Restoration Angel still in his hand. He's drawn 5 spells this game.
Yep.
And he just played like very well. You know, milking max value out of the Township, which could probably count as a 6th spell.
Yeah.
Considering it's done more to affect the board than most of his other cards have.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, that Barani Township is a huge problem for the blue-white red control decks. Even more so when they don't have as many Supreme Verdicts.
Right.
And David only has the one in the main.
If you remember, David had the opportunity to, when Lukas went to Township, the second counter onto the Pilgrim, make it a 3/3. David passed on the opportunity to Is It Charming?
Yes. I believe he also still has does he still have the Turn and Burn in his hand?
The Turn and Burn was in the graveyard. He has spent one.
He had the option to use that.
Oh, there's an Arbor Elf drawn from Lukas as well.
Ah, yes.
So,
but instead, David chose to not use it, and he's facing down a very large Avacyn's Pilgrim now.
Wow. Reserve attack. I would have. There's a Searing Spear. I believe I see Searing Spear and War Leader's Helix.
Yeah, War Leader's Helix is a very good card for racing.
That would change things. Once again, Lukas is showing a lot of patience.
Yeah.
Although I do think David's going to... No, let's see.
Looks like David's going to cast Restoration Angel after blocks on the blocked Snapcaster Mage.
We would imagine. What's he doing to flash back? Turn and Burn is the answer. So I think this is going to be a huge blowout. Maybe, wow. Oh, maybe he's responding to the actual...
He's responding to the target, yes.
See, I would wait till he casts it.
I would too.
Yeah, this is a misstep by Lukas for sure. Because if you just... I would imagine that David just goes to like at least like turn. Or burn something, turn something.
Yep.
And then Lukas can respond.
There's the War Leader's Helix. It's still hiding in David's hand.
David's going to cast it.
He's going to cast it eventually, but it's important to keep in mind.
But he goes with the Searing Spear to kill off the Thragtusk. Thragtusk, as it normally does, lives behind a beast.
We say normally, of course, because Turn and Burn exists now.
Yeah. I saw that Thragtusk trigger get stifled in Legacy.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I believe I like this main phasing of War Leader's Helix.
Yeah, to be able to deal with the Restoration Angel without having to worry about the Barani Township at any point. So the Helix is going to take care of the Restoration Angel. David's going to go to 13 with Lukas still sitting at 8, but facing down 2 flying creatures that he cannot currently deal with.
Here's an insane thing about this game. I think Lukas might be still a little behind, but like he was way behind for most of the game.
Yeah.
He's really caught up without a lot of action. Alright, Mulch. Let's get a Fiend Hunter, Vault of the Archangel. That's a huge...
Yeah, Vault is going to help a lot there. We also put Angel of Serenity in the graveyard for the next Unburial Rites that we happen to draw.
Let's see, 4 lands, he's splitting... So, I can't activate both Township and Vault of the Archangel.
No, I think the Vault is just good enough by itself.
Yes. Well, if he attacks with everybody, he's kind of pot committed to
vaulting.
To vaulting because he is facing 10 points of power.
Right. I think that he just goes all in on the vault anyway, because it's not like David can profitably block.
Correct. So this is like an interesting, like block for David, like really interesting. Because you would just think, oh, if he's gonna block, you can put the Restoration Angel on the Beast, the Snapcaster on the Pilgrim. But if he does that, then Lukas just townships.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that might be a really appealing play anyway. Because if Lukas townships,
then David can top deck pretty much any burn spell.
Yes, and he would be three. He's currently 3 points short if he
so he could
makes
top
that
deck.
block.
He couldn't top deck burn the burn spell, but he could top deck Searing Spear
War
or
Leader's Helix.
Could not top deck Pillar of Flame, I guess. But
yeah, a Restoration Angel or Snapcaster Mage would also work because of the War Leader's Helix in David's graveyard. But he only get like one draw to do it. But I actually think that's his best shot of winning the game.
So it looks like he only blocked the one.
Yeah, he's Snapcaster Mage on Avacyn's Pilgrim.
Yep.
Seems like the block. That's not a bad block.
That's fine. And Lukas looks like he's going to gain 9, I believe. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Going up to 17.
He's facing 8 points of power, but this race favors Lukas by quite a wide margin.
Yeah.
And
especially because next turn Lukas can activate
David drew a Searing Spear.
Did he really?
He did.
Oh my. So if he could have baited
the township activation.
Then he would have won this game this turn.
Yes.
I'm
still
not
might.
sure.
This is a very interesting game.
This is still a very interesting game. I think that Lukas probably would have still done the township.
The vault?
Or the vault just to gain the life.
Alright, so a Desolate Lighthouse activation. It's a really interesting race. So Searing Spear that.
I think that is gonna. That's
Avacyn's Pilgrim still a huge issue.
Yeah. Remember 4 turns ago when we could have, or 7 turns ago when we could have killed that?
Yeah. David would be down on Restoration Angel, but because he could have Izzet Charm the Sever.
Right.
But I think you take that trade if you're David.
I agree. And let's see, Thragtusk, as well as Acidic Slime.
Oh wow, okay.
So we have 10 mana in play. We have 2 5-mana spells and 2 5-mana lands. So lots of options for Lukas. Thragtusk is going to be the first one. Pretty much every line that Thragtusk could be an option in is almost always the right play. And so Acidic Slime is also going to take out the Desolate Lighthouse just to make sure that David can't do anything else.
Did he do a Snapcaster?
I think he drew a Snapcaster Mage.
Wow.
That's a very good draw here.
I don't think it's going to be good enough because of the vault.
Agreed.
I think there's the past the point of no return, where you can justifiably.
He can turn and burn the Thragtusk.
He can only do one.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay.
So
we can attack with Snapcaster Mage in hopes he blocks with Thragtusk.
One thing you could do is you can block the Thragtusk, then turn it.
Sure.
You can War Leader's Helix the Avacyn's Pilgrim response, and then make very, very poor blocks to get the rest of them. Like he'll be losing most of his team to deal with most of Lukas's team. But I don't think there's any feasible racing situation, even with War Leader's Helix. This is like a very difficult. It's pretty much you might as well turn the restoration, the Snapcaster Mage in David's hand face up because of how long he's thinking.
Yeah.
There's no way there's a different.
Yeah.
No other card offers so many different lines
David
of play.
immediately looked at his graveyard as well.
Yeah.
So it was fairly easy.
Well, now that he's played it, he's pretty much committed to War Leader's Helix.
Yeah, we don't have any Sphinx's Revelations left. David's going to go up to 6 here.
Mm-hmm.
Lukas is going to be able to untap.
I believe David's plan is to block Slime with Restoration Angel, double block Thragtusk, with 2 Snapcaster Mages.
Yep. At which point the creature that remains on the board will be
Beast versus Restoration
Beast
Angel.
versus Restoration Angel.
Beast and 2 spell
Beast
lands.
and 2 lands that are spells, yes. Which still favors Lukas.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Lucas's deck has more amazing late game top decks than David's. David does have Sphinx's Revelation.
Yeah,
but
I think
Lukas,
David has more action per like in his deck.
Right.
More live draws. Ooh. Damn.
Interesting.
I do not like this line.
So we keep an extra Snapcaster to be able to attack for more next turn.
Yeah, but I don't think David's going to win this game. Racing Vault of the Archangel is not easy, but neither is beating the card in Lucas's hand, which is a Pilgrim. Interesting that no Vault.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only do one or the other, so I think he values the Township, but yeah, I mean, David needs a Sphinx's Revelation.
Very bad.
Stat. Looks like it's a land, because it's probably about to plop down next to that Steam Vents.
Yep. Tried to let it fall. Fell the wrong way.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Sometimes things just don't fall your way. Adam Bozak.
Happens.
Yeah. So we're going to swing into the red zone with our 6/4.
Yeah, see, the reason I don't like this play is like he's committed to chump blocking this turn with the other Snapcaster Mage.
I completely agree. I think that...
what's he going to do about this Strike Tusk?
Yeah. He's just going to activate both lands.
Both lands, because he probably if he drew another one, yeah, that's what you do. But geez, like Lucas' deck does not have very many lands left.
Right. And if it were a spell that were relevant, like something like Angel of Serenity or Fiend Hunter, it would have come down pre-combat. Yeah, very unsurprising that that's a Godless Shrine.
Alright, so
that's going to end game
as it turns out, David runs out of Snapcaster Mages to chump block with.
Yep.
And Lucas takes game 1.
Yep. Lucas, despite being flooded...
yeah, his draw was bad.
His draw was very bad, but played a very patient game against a deck that is very good at also playing the patient game. I think that David got a little too overeager in trying to start a race, and Lucas managed to find a Thragtusk. Managed to find 2 Thragtusks.
And Vault of the Archangel.
The Vault was the real
Vault
nail in the coffin there.
Both spell lands were amazing for Lucas that game.
So moving quickly to the sideboard, David Barani.
He has a Runechanter's Pike, just one. Big cards, 2 clones, 2 Purify the Grave are his big ones.
I would also expect, is it Staticaster to come in here?
You could expect that if you're expecting. He has 3 copies of that. I don't like all of them, but I like some of them.
Especially for bringing in the Pike, because it's just another haste creature.
Sure, yeah.
I've attacked with many is it Staticaster with the Runechanter's Pike on it.
I might try that sometime soon.
Yeah? Nice. Mr. F&M hero over there. Over on Lucas's side of the board, we have a couple of interesting options. So in his main deck, he has the 3 Acidic Slime, or 2 Acidic Slime, 3 Thragtusk split. He has an additional Thragtusk and 2 additional Slimes in the sideboard. Do you like one over the other in the
I like Slime a lot. Blue-white red decks are very notoriously soft to land destruction.
Sure. So I would expect
you saw
those
the Sphinx's Revelations were relatively tame.
Yeah.
For David that game, because like you just can't wait to pass on 6 mana when you have a Revelation. No, he's not going to pass on 5 mana when he has a Revelation, and then he just flooded out because he couldn't find another one. Like David cast 2 Sphinx's Revelation in that game. Like, how often do you cast?
Well, they were only for 3 though.
How often do you cast 2 6-mana cards?
That's true.
And not win the game.
That's true.
Lucas didn't cast any 6-mana cards.
He cast a lot of 5-mana cards that were on lands.
Right, yeah, that's true.
And so we also have Sin Collectors.
Yeah, Sin
doing
Collector,
their best
yes.
Pro Tour Dragon's Maze impression of Sin Collector, your Sphinx's Revelation. And Obzadot Ghost Council, very good in this matchup.
Yeah, so you have to decide which 5s you want.
Yes, and I think that you don't want any of the Thragtusks. is my assumption.
I would be okay with 4 Acidic Slime, 2 Obsidat.
Yes, and take out all 3 Thrag Tusks.
Yeah,
which sounds
and
weird.
you still have Unburial Rights.
Yes, you still have Unburial Rights. And this also means that you can also theoretically bring in these Deathrite Shamans, not only to be able to accelerate your mana if you have mulch, or not really mulch, but if you have a Grizzly Salvage. And if you think that your opponent, David, has things like Thought Scour, although I assume you would have seen it if he had Thought Scour. But you can also remove Snapcaster Mage targets.
Yes.
That was a little iffy. I probably wouldn't.
It's not fantastic, but it's not bad.
Right.
It's a real clock. It does something.
Only if you have a lot to take out, and I
Yes.
think that the only things that he has really to take out are these Fiend Hunters are not wonderful.
Yes. The Fiend Hunters are very bad.
This Sever the Bloodline is also not great.
Yes.
Although it's a decent answer to Restoration Angel,
Right.
which his deck doesn't have a ton of, and he's taking one of them out in Fiend Hunter. He obviously wants to keep in his 2 Voice of Resurgence. Lukas has no Voice of Resurgence in his sideboard with 2 in the main deck. Possibly expecting less control today.
Not coming in this matchup, but I really like the Slayer of the Wicked.
Yes, Slayer of the Wicked. So Junk Reanimator is a deck that is very... that has a soft spot to Olivia Voldaren.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but it comes into play, you destroy target Olivia Voldaren.
Yeah, it can randomly hit like Masters. I mean, if you really want to, you can take down, or you can try to take down like Falconwrath Aristocrats and Drolf's Messengers if you really want to.
Yeah.
But no, that guy's actually a Flame Tongue Kavu.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. And so that's an interesting one. I've seen that one in sideboards for Junk Reanimator decks every once in a while. Also in the sideboard of some Naya decks. Basically anything that can Restoration Angel it.
Yeah.
To be able to take care of, mostly to take care of Olivia Voldaren. So we're going to start this game similarly to the way we did the last. Although David's Guild Gates aren't actually Guild Gates this time.
Right.
They are able to turn on his Buddy Lands.
Oh wow, so this is one of the few situations where generally Avacyn's Pilgrim is
So there's a Sin Collector on turn 2. Oh, he's going to take...
Oh, wow. Kept 6 lands. Speaks his Revelation.
That is a monster.
So
and
sorry.
we top decked one, so don't worry. Don't feel too bad. We top decked another.
Yeah, I mean, you cast 2 of them last game and didn't win.
That's true. So Lukas is probably not going to cast a Restoration Angel to blink the Sin Collector after seeing a handful of lands. What could he have possibly drawn?
He might do it on an upkeep.
That's true.
At some point.
So we have another Avacyn's Pilgrim.
I believe
we have Grizzly Salvage in hand.
Yes, 2 copies.
2 copies.
So Luke is taking 2 from his Temple Garden.
Sin Collector is a extremely powerful Magic card that I expect after rotation gets even better.
The faster decks get, the more creatures they have, so the fewer instants. But against decks like this, Sin Collector is really good.
Being able to go on beatdown with the 2 power, a lot like Snapcaster Mage can. You know, Goblin Piker's nothing to sneeze at.
Alright, so the really interesting choice from Lukas here. He can either take the Gavinet Township that was so effective game 1, or
with
he can
3 creatures.
But he
chooses to
recognizes
take the
that David's hand is almost all lands, and if he draws a spell, we could take it out of his hand with Restoration Angel on Sin Collector, and that can pretty much lock up the game.
Yep. And he plays his dual land untapped because the Restoration
I hope
Angel.
David miracles Terminus.
Does he have Terminus?
No.
Okay. So dissipate on the Restoration Angel here.
Okay.
To be able to protect his hand. Meanwhile, 4 damage a turn. There's an Obsidat.
Oh, jeez.
So Obsidat probably going to be the answer.
This Junk Reanimator deck, when it's firing on all cylinders, it is.
It goes pretty nuts. the Avacyn's Pilgrims being able to make white mana not only relevant on turn 2 for the Sin Collector, but now making a second white mana when Lukas only has the 1 Temple Garden in play.
Right.
So, Dat Ghost Council gonna come down and gonna live on top of Lukas's deck for about half a second, while David gathers his thoughts.
Draws a land, says go.
He does have Sphinx's Revelation in hand. I don't think he needs to use it yet. I think he'd rather wait a turn, draw 4.
I don't think he has that luxury.
Okay. Think he just has to draw 3 here?
Well, he's at 11. Facing down 11.
Sure. That's fair.
If Lukas, we saw a player earlier not attack with it.
Playing around the Azorius Charm?
But in that case, that opponent had Nephalia Drawnyard to play that would mill anything that was Azorius Charmed.
Sure.
And also, Lukas has plenty of backup.
Absolutely. Still many shells in the chamber. Although I still don't think that if he can avoid it, that he wants to. I mean, the upset's still going to come in, because even casting it is still just fine.
Yeah, it's not a huge deal if this gets Azorius Charmed.
Yeah.
Oh, David's just, I've had enough.
Yep, decided that was too much. So Lukas Parson is going to move to 5-0.
Yeah, definitely a good start for him.
Yep.
David Barani still in it. And for the 5th straight round, we have picked the wrong feature match to start on. Yeah. We have not had a second match on camera yet this week.
That's insane.
Yeah. Pick better feature matches.
I think that means that we picked the right ones.
Oh, we picked the longest ones?
Yeah.
I like variety.
I mean, if that's your thing. Yeah. I like seeing beginning to end. You have like character development and a climax, and then the denouement afterwards, then you come back to us for the credits. You don't want to see the second half of some other movie.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, I kind of do too. I would rather.
I'd love to be able to watch it on
I mean, yeah.
Fortunately, that's not could do it.
Sure.
But yeah, that was round 5. So the rest of the tournament's finished up. Our feature matches is all clear.
Yep. Very quick moving tournament, other than our first round, which had a long time extension.
Right. Most of these
are. Yes. Most of the matches, like we said, Bant Hexproof and Naya Aggro both overrepresented, in my opinion, making for much faster rounds.
Okay.
And much less junk reanimator.
Yeah. No. What you call Elixir of Immortality mirror matches.
Right. Not a ton of the Bant control that Reduke wrote about.
Yeah. We did see that, but they have Aether Link, so they kill people now.
Exactly, as opposed to just sitting there with Nephalia Drawnyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dream Twist as your win condition.
With buyback.
With buyback. So, looking at this tournament so far, we're halfway through the tournament. Has anything surprised you?
You see a lot of like powerful cards. One thing that I have noticed is Aetherling is game over. Aetherling like plus a mana basically. The other thing is how many players have come back from very suboptimal draws, like very even like almost unplayable draws.
Yeah, I think that speaks to this tournament's penchant for powerful cards as opposed to powerful synergies.
Okay.
So decks like Jund.
Yeah, we saw Lukas win.